Detective X. The case took place in 2000. Despite offering the highest reward, no useful info had been obtained to solve the notorious Setagaya family murder. Setagaya is a special ward in Tokyo. It is also the name of a neighborhood and administrative district within the ward. Setagaya has the largest population and second largest area of Tokyo's special wards. In 2000, in Setagaya City, Kamisoshigaya, Senchamo, there was a double-story townhouse, owned by Mikio Miyazawa. He worked in a foreign-affiliated company and was developing corporate identity for major corporations. The wife Yasuko gave private tuition for primary school students at home. They had a daughter Nina and a son Ray. Residing next to them was Yasuko's mother and elder sister. The elder sister married a foreigner and later moved out. Yasuko then turned her mother's ground floor to a private tuition center, while their own ground level was solely for the husband's use. The two units seemed connected from outside, but they were actually two separate units. The Miyazawa family had been living here since June 1990. Their two children were born while staying here. Miyazawa's life was nothing but blissful, until the entire family was brutally murdered. Let's find out what happened on the last day of 2000. December 31, 2000 was a Sunday. 10 in the morning, Yasuko's mother felt something was off, as Yasuko was supposed to send the two children over for her care. Half an hour later, the mother called Yasuko twice but nobody picked up. By now, the mother decided to go over and take a look. At around 10:50, she pressed the bell but nobody answered. The door was locked. The family car was parked in the garage, so she figured they must be at home. Using the spare key, she opened the door and went in. The house was dark, the air was choked with an odious smell. The mother quickly switched on the light and saw a person collapse at the staircase landing. That was his son-in-law Mikio. He was drenched in blood. Startled by this bloody scene, the mother hurried to the second floor to find her daughter. Her daughter Yasuko collapsed on the second floor. She was brutally gashed that some bones were exposed. Underneath her body was the granddaughter Nina, who was also dead. Nina was slashed multiple times. Yasuko's mother was too horrified. She lurched to the ground floor and called the police. The police soon arrived at the crime scene and launched a massive investigation. The crime was extremely ghastly, the scene was bloody and gruesome. The body of Mikio was found at the staircase landing on ground level. A 0.04-inch knife tip was found in his skull, at the upper side of left ear. His right thumb was severed. His head, neck, chest, arms, legs, and bottom were stabbed multiple times. On the stairway of the second floor, were the wife Yasuko and daughter Nina. Yasuko's body overlaid Nina's. It seems that Yasuko tried to use her body to shield and protect Nina. Yasuko's face was stabbed multiple times, her throat was slit. Her neck suffered many lacerations that revealed some bones. There were too many cuts until her face was disfigured. The 8-year-old Nina suffered multiple stabs in her face and neck. She also had traces of being battered too. In the bedroom of the second floor, the 6-year-old Ray was found on the lower deck of the double-decker. He had a deep stry on the neck from strangulation. His bloodshot eyes and bloody nose showed that the killer was very strong. There was no sign of struggle. Most likely he was killed in his sleep. The forensic analysis on the food residue in their stomach indicated the time of death should be the night of December 30th, around 11:30 p.m. A footprint was found outside and under the bathroom window. Part of the plants had been trampled down. The first aid kit in the house was opened. In the kitchen found band-aids and towels with the killer's blood and fingerprint. The killer even used sanitary pads to stop his bleeding. There were a large number of footprints found in the house. The killer entered through the open window of the second-floor bathroom at the rear of the house, located immediately adjacent to Setugaya Park, and gained access by climbing up a tree and then removing the window screen. The killer used his bare hands to strangle Ray, who was fast asleep in his room on the second floor, killing him through asphyxiation. Mikio rushed up the first floor stairs after he noticed the commotion in Ray's room. There he fought and injured the killer, until being stabbed in the head with a sashimi knife. A police report claimed that part of the sashimi knife's blade broke off inside Mikio's head, and the killer then attacked Yasuko and Nina with the broken knife. The killer later ditched the blunt sashimi knife, and grabbed a Santoku knife from Miyazawa's house to continue his slaughtering. The killer left a massive amount of evidence in the house. There were 2 murder weapons. One was a sashimi knife the killer brought. The other was a Santoku knife from Miyazawa's kitchen. The sashimi knife was sold under the trade name Seiki Magoroku Jinju. It was 13.4 inch long, of which the blade was 8.2 inches. A total of 1,500 sashimi knives of this kind were manufactured in Fukui Prefecture in June 2000. They were sold in 46 outlets in the Kanto region. The killer's fingerprints and blood were collected in the house, but both had no match in the database of the Tokyo police, indicating that the killer did not have a criminal record. The fingerprint was also submitted to Interpol for matching, but to no avail. Unfortunately, in 2000, Japan did not collect biometric info of all residents, except those with criminal records. The killer's blood is type A. No drugs or any unusual substance were found in the blood. DNA analysis indicated the killer is male and possibly mixed race, with maternal DNA of European descent, possibly from a South European country near the Mediterranean or Adriatic Sea, and paternal DNA indicating a father of East Asian descent. It could be possible that the European maternal DNA comes from a distant ancestor from the mother's line rather than a fully European mother. Analysis of the Y chromosome showed the haplogroup OM122, a common haplogroup distributed in East Asian peoples, appearing 1 in 4 or 5 Koreans, 1 in 10 Chinese, and 1 in 13 Japanese. These results led to Tokyo police to seek assistance through the International Criminal Police, as the killer may not be Japanese or present in Japan. The killer's shoes were identified through footprints. The brand is Slazenger of size 10.8 inches. It was manufactured in South Korea. The largest size of this brand sold in the Japan market was only 10.2 inches. From October 1998 through November 2000, a total of 4,530 pairs were manufactured in Korea. Other than shoes, the killer also left behind other apparels. 1 Uniqlo AirTech jacket. From October 2000 to the day of the murder, a total of 82,000 jackets of this kind, black and large-sized, were sold nationwide. 1 Gray Crusher hat. A total of 3,465 hats of this kind were on sale nationwide between July 1998 and November 2000. 1 Unbranded scarf. 1 sweatshirt. A pair of Edwin gloves. 2 black handkerchiefs, one of which was cut in the middle with a 1.2-inch hole. 1 hip bag. A manufacturer in Osaka produced 2,850 bags of this kind. They were sold in the Kanto region from September 1995 through January 1999. The handkerchiefs and hip bag were sprayed with perfume manufactured by Guy Laroche in France. This eau de toilette had been on sale in Japan since around 1982. The killer only looted $1,926 in cash. Miyazawa's purses and credit cards were left intact. The killer is believed to be around 5 feet 7 inch tall and of slim build. He was estimated to have been born between 1965 and 1985, which was 15 to 35 years old at the time of crime. The Miyazawa's wounds suggested that the killer is likely right-handed. The footprints suggested the killer knew about tactical movement, very likely he might have military background. Police had deduced several specific clues to the killer's identity, but were unable to apprehend a suspect. The killer remained inside the Miyazawa's house for 2 to 10 hours, using the family computer, consuming barley tea, melon, and ice cream from their fridge, using their toilet and leaving his feces in it without flushing, treating his injuries using first aid kits and sanitary pads, and even taking a nap on a sofa in the second-floor living room. An analysis of Mikio Miyazawa's computer revealed that it had connected to the internet the morning after the murders at 1:18 a.m. and again at around 10 a.m., around the time Yasuko's mother entered the house and discovered the murders. Fingerprints of the killer were collected from the mouse. Authorities believed the killer had stayed in the house until at least 1:18 a.m., but the computer usage at 10 a.m. could have been accidentally triggered by Yasuko's mother during her discovery of the crime scene. Therefore, the police could not determine the exact time of the killer leaving the house. While in the house, the killer also rummaged through the cabinets and drawers. It was not certain if the killer was searching for a specific item, or creating an illusion of robbery. Yasuko's mother said she saw an unknown car parked outside their house on December 25th. December 27th morning, she saw a suspicious man wandering outside their house. December 30th noon, the day they were murdered, someone saw Mikio quarreled with a man outside the house. Same day at around 3 p.m., a housewife saw a man in sports attire at a train station around 1 mile away from Miyazawa's house. The man matched the police's descriptions of the suspect. The housewife could remember vividly because Tokyo was very cold in December. Everyone was wearing a winter coat, but the man was only wearing a normal jacket. December 30th between 11:35 and 11:40 morning, someone saw a man in his 20s or 30s in an alley, walking towards the direction of Miyazawa's house. There was a park near Miyazawa's house called Setagaya Park. The park was under construction for expansion. The residents had all been relocated, except a few stubborn units including the Miyazawas. That said, the Miyazawas had agreed to relocate in March 2001. There were 30 units in the area. After the relocation, only 4 units remained. So the nearby residents had greatly reduced, much less any valuable witnesses. There was a skating park in the vicinity. The noisy regulars had been getting on Miyazawa's nerves. Someone saw Mikio squabbled with the regulars there. Rei was suffering from congenital language disorder. Mikio and Yasuko were often seen attending religious and charity events, associating with some religious bodies. There had been a theory that the handkerchief with a hole in the center was meant for religious ritual. In 2002, a Japanese author Fumiya Ikihashi published a book called The Setagaya Family Murder Case. In the book, he detailed his investigation and speculation about the relationship between Miyazawa and Korean religious organizations. In 2005, after collaboration with Korean police, the speculation couldn't be substantiated because of insufficient evidence. Another major theory was that the killer orchestrated this murder such that traces left behind would mislead the entire investigation, given that he had sufficient time to fabricate false evidence. There are many theories revolving around this unsolved case. The police are currently offering a $200,000 reward to any person who can help to find clues that lead to a suspect or closure of the case. Over 250,000 police officers and investigators have been deployed for the investigation over the past 20 years. But the killer is still enjoying impunity for a good 2 decades. Every year on December 30th, the police would pay homage at the Miyazawa house, vowing to bring justice to the family. Everything will be revealed and repaid, in due course. I'm Detective X. See you in the next video.